The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The Jets were on the field for day one of minicamp. Robby Sabo was there, and we're going to bring him on to find out what he saw. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
We sitting in here, we excited as hell.
Now it's time to get to work. Are you a happy guy?
Oh my goodness, let's go!
I haven't felt joy talking about the Jets in a long time. When they announced it, I went, yeah! Let's go! A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. It is indeed the Jake Asman Show. We are presented by PrizePicks. Major announcement for those coming to Gangrene Beach Club in less than a month. We have officially announced our surprise special guest, Jet legend Wayne Chrebet, will be the big star at Gangrene Beach Club. Tickets are still on sale. Go fast if you're coming. GangreneBeachClub.com, just $25. Doors open at noon, 21 and over. Going to be an absolute blast. Wayne is one of the nicest guys out there. Jet legend, of course. And you could hang out with him, take a photo with him, meet and greet, the whole thing. Wayne Chrebet officially coming to Gangrene Beach Club on July 11th at HQ2 in Atlantic City. A guy who knows Wayne Chrebet really well, in fact, does a podcast with him, is Robby Sabo, who also will be at Gangrene Beach Club. Robby, are you worried that Wayne Chrebet might outshine you in front of the Jet fans?
Are you saying that Jets fans want to see him more than me?
Yes.
Outrageous.
Yes, I am.
Outrageous. Blasphemy. I don't buy it.
Wayne will not be wearing a Speedo, though. You will. So maybe you'll win some people over that way.
Competition over, my friends. What's happening?
How was minicamp today?
Good. Gino had some nice throws, hummed the ball in there a couple of times. We'll talk about it. Glenn continues trying to explain to the media before practice even begins what he's looking from his team. The different scenarios. Today was a lot of red zone work. They did a 2-minute drill towards the end. And then some walkthrough stuff, but nothing really specific in the way of situation. The 2-minute drill did stand out, but yeah, it was pretty solid. Nothing earth shattering, but pretty solid practice overall.
So let's talk about Gino in particular. What have you seen in the amount of practices you've covered now with him at the helm running this offense?
He's got that confidence. He's got a confidence about him. He's a leader. He's not the same Gino. It's weird when Jets fans think of Gino, they think of that young kid, right? We're living in the Matrix. Speak of the devil. Wayne Chrebet announced his name on NFL Draft Night, and it was that night where Gino he lost his cool and stormed out of the draft room, and his agent had to convince him to go back in. He was upset he wasn't a first-round pick. So the legend says, and I wouldn't call him immature at his young age. Obviously, I wasn't around the team until 2019, 2018. I think Bulls was last year, so I wasn't up close and personal. But from all accounts, he's grown in a lot of ways, and it's a departure from what Jets fans are used to with Gino. At the same time, on top of it, I should say, it's such a drastic difference between him and what we saw last year and what we saw prior to Rodgers. Such a drastic difference. Now, it's that same type of leadership. It's that same type of confidence Rodgers brought. And as we all saw, just having a competent quarterback doesn't change everything, magically. So that's going to be the same thing with Gino, but with DeMario on the as the leader on the defensive side, that should help out as well. But Gino, his anticipation is there, his confidence is there. He leads guys. The specific plays he hooked up with AD Mitchell in the red zone on it was almost like a stick nod, which is usually run with the tight end, but AD Mitchell kind of ran a stick nod. It might have been at a 3-by-1, and the coverage was sort of Tampa 2-ish in the red zone, where the two corners have a deep third, and Demario Davis, the Mike, has a deep third. And Demario Davis was all over Mitchell in a great position, got enough depth, it was in the middle of the field, at the goal line, but where Gino put it was the only place to put it to lead AD to the back end of the end zone, the back line, and complete it. And it was a beauty. And toe tapped it, came down with it, touchdown. So good coverage. Not great, good coverage, but just a ridiculous throw. And that's just one of the examples where he's anticipating and he's putting it at the right spots.
We'll get back to Gino in a moment. But again, every time I've had you or a different Jet reporter on who's been at these practices, AD Mitchell has stood out. When do we start to actually get excited? Should we be excited as Jet fans about what AD could be in this offense?
Considering the context, him as a throw-in in that trade, I think you should already be excited in that context in terms of him fulfilling his NFL draft stock. Maybe a little bit patient on that, but it's a strange thing. Trying to compare Gino to what we saw last year, it's miles ahead. Now, trying to compare Gino to an elite quarterback in the NFL, that's the question. That's, we're still far away from that. And that's, I think, where AD is compared to other elite receivers, but he looks the part. That catch today, Gino put it in a great spot, but AD coming down with it, just looking fluid, getting both feet down. He didn't have much room back there. That's a professional catch, and that's what you want to see. So I think cautious optimism is okay with AD right now.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Let me share the giveaway because we're continuing to celebrate the Knicks becoming NBA champions. Clyde Frazier signed jersey up for grabs at the end of this stream. If you don't want Clyde, how about a Joe Klecko signed jersey? Either or, you pick which all-time New York great you want a signed jersey in. Weekly raffle prizes this week are as followed: Garrett Wilson signed helmet, Joe Klecko signed helmet, Darrelle Revis signed end zone pylon, win 2 tickets to Gangrene Beach Club, and a Jalen Brunson NBA Finals patch jersey. So 5 weekly prizes and your choice today for the daily raffle. In terms of the Frank Reich offense, what have you noticed? What did you see out there today with some of the different formations, different play calls? I understand they're not going full speed with the pads, but what have you learned just seeing this offense operate?
It's something where you don't want to call it, heavy zone or heavy gap. It's going to be a mixture. And if you watched Reich's tape with Carolina, he came out week 1 pistol with then rookie Bryce Young, ran a lot of duo, ran a lot of power right off the bat. And Brees talked after practice today, and he actually mentioned a couple of concepts that they've been running. And, it's what I've seen on the field. Obviously, I'm not giving anything away here. It's just minicamp. They're running basic stuff. So we're not going to be able to determine too much from what we're seeing. But I think Reich, based on history, based on what I've seen, he's balanced. And I think he tries to mold his offense around what he has, which is a really good sign. And so far in practice, it's been pretty intentional. You could tell when they're working on certain things, such as screens, which I saw a little bit of that today. So Bailey Zappi also had I think a noteworthy drive in the 2-minute drill. Obviously, Cade Klubnik is off to the side. He's not participating, a little banged up. So Zappi's the clear number 2 right now, and he's working with that second team. And it was the situation was about under a minute left, starting on your own 35 or 20. I don't know where they were far away, but first 2 plays, and this is 2-minute offense. This is hurry up. First 2 plays, he struggled. I forgot what the first play was. It was incomplete. Second one, He took the snap, looked to the right, looked to the right. He looked to be forcing his eyes to the right, came back on the backside in breaker, and was just way off, wildly inaccurate. So first down, 1st and 10, 2nd and 10, he was trying to do a little too much. 3rd and 10 comes. He takes the easy gimme in the flat. I forgot who the tight end was. Maybe it was Beck. I don't remember. But he took the easy gimme, got 7 yards, got out of bounds to set up a 4th and 3. And from that moment, he kind of exhaled because he realized, oh, I don't have to try to do too much. I could take the gimmies when the defense is giving it to me, when they're lagging, when they're soft. And from that moment on, it clicked. On 4th and 3, he hit Arian Smith on a nice little sit route, and Arian might have got like 5 to 8 yards of rack after that to set up 1st and 10, hurry up, and they marched it down the field, and it resulted in a field goal attempt. So I think certain things like that, is it Reich's influence? Maybe a little. But it's a good sign to see him struggle on those first 2 plays and then realize, hey, I don't have to try to do too much. I got to take what the defense gives me. And it clicked from that point forward.
Defensively, your thoughts on what the Aaron Glenn coach defense as the play caller is appearing to look like at this point? Are you more optimistic than you were at the beginning of the offseason program? Your thoughts on that?
Nah, it's probably the same. It's an interesting thing in terms of DeMario overshadows Glenn by a wide margin in my eyes. I don't know if that's fair, but that's just how I feel. DeMario being the leader, being the guy everyone looks to in between plays and directing traffic. It's so massive. It's so huge. And you really see it in between the lines at practice. With Glenn, some of the things I'm seeing in terms of play calls, again, it's minicamp. They're doing things intentionally. So it's hard to say this makes sense for who he is as a play caller, but there's things where you see play calls and you go, okay, that's what Glenn likes. So you see a lot of that. Other times you don't. Other times you see more vanilla stuff. But Nashawn Wright had a nice PD in the red zone against Geno. I think he was looking for Curtis. What's the kid's first name? The tight end, Chase Curtis, because Jelani Woods and Kenyon Sadiq are out. So Chase Curtis was getting some run.
Jelani Woods is out now?
I might have to double check me on that. We'll have to ask Samini, but I thought Woods missed today and was off to the side, but I'll double check that.
Now these are mandatory. So if anyone is not participating,
right,
it means they're hurt or they no-showed.
Right. I don't think he no-showed. But long story short, Curtis was pretty much the de facto third tight end. He was looking for him at the side of the end zone, and Nashawn Wright came over and made a great PD. The corners are making plays. You see some stuff Glenn dials up that's familiar with Detroit in terms of some pressures, and they just seem more connected. And I think it's, yes, give Glenn credit, but I think DeMario's the big thing there. I think him and then Minka behind him in terms of that leadership is really huge.
Well, they actually have leaders on the defense, which they didn't have a year ago.
Massive. I mean, everyone talks about Saleh, but and listen, I'm not trying to crush Saleh here or say he didn't matter. Firing him in season changes things. It's a big deal. But track the Jets defense with and without Mosley. And I've never been a huge Mosley fan, but Mosley as a leader, as the quarterback of the defense, made a huge difference.
I just saw a tweet from Brian Hoke. Giancarlo Stanton re-injured his calf strain and will have a light week of activity.
Stanton and injuries are like peanut butter jelly.
Well, it's like the Nick high is eventually going to wear off, and it's going to be back to Jet minicamp and Stanton's calf strain. But for now, I'll continue to bask in the glory of the Knicks.
Hey, man, August is always good, right? August is always good unless injuries happen. And I can't wait, honestly. Well, July too. So it's going July 20th around there. I can't wait to see Bailey Membu, Bailey Fashanu. That's what once it goes full speed with pads, that's what I'm going to be locked in on.
Give me your thoughts on David Bailey. Obviously, you were part of Arvell's army, but Bailey is now a Jet. We're all rooting for his success. So I don't know if I'm ever going to get you to be a Bailey bro, but Mr. Sabo, what have you seen from Bailey so far in OTAs and now minicamp?
Yeah, it's impossible to evaluate him, really. It's just the way it is. But if I had to gun to my head, if I had to provide what I think it's more of what we saw on tape. at Texas Tech. I think it's a one-track mindset in terms of getting after the quarterback, playing one way in terms of finesse, elude, use hands, go around. And, when it's 3rd and long and you ask him to hunt the quarterback, it's a hell of a thing. I mean, he's got that speed. He's got that twitchiness, as a lot of his teammates have been saying. Now, if you read in between the lines, there's been a lot of quotes from Jets people suggesting that, fans believing he's going to have a high snap count. I'm not seeing it right now, to be honest. It feels like they drafted him for one specific reason, pass rushing, based on all the quotes. And I heard the quote from the great Carl Dunbar. He kind of contradicted himself in that he said, can he pass rush? After he was asked, I don't know who it was, I wasn't there. After he was asked, are you concerned with his run defense or something along those lines? Can he rush the passer? That's what he responded with, and then got into, if you don't stop the run, you're not going to have the privilege of playing. DeMario talked about it a couple weeks ago at OTAs. We want to stop the run, and we have the size to set up Bailey and set up the pass rushers. The more you look at these quotes, the more you think, man, everyone is on board and in that thinking that he was brought in for that sole specific reason to rush the passer. So what's the snap count going to be? I don't know. I think right now, as a rookie, projecting a lower snap count is probably the better bet right now.
What'd you make of the quotes from Carl Dunbar basically saying, I don't care about all the other stuff. The guy could get after the quarterback. He's not taught in college how to defend the run. That's our job to do it.
Yeah, it's not that easy. Number one. Number two, that was the quote. He kind of contradicted himself. Then afterwards, he said, you have to stop the run too. And if you don't stop the run, you're not going to play, or something along those lines. I'll try to find the exact quote, which is what I abide by. You got when, crap hits the fan, you're going to play the guys who are more balanced and the most balanced and who could get everything done in terms of overall football. But it'll be interesting. It's going to be, we talked about it. I mentioned it. It's going to be a transition. If a kid in college is not an overall player, not a balanced player, and has that one-track mindset, no less the Big 12 where it's air raid and it's 3-3-5 and it's open, it's not to say he can't get better. Of course he can, but the transition is much more difficult. It's like a quarterback going from triple option or a wishbone to a professional offense. So I just think people are taking it a little too for granted, that transition right now.
The full quote, you can see it on the screen for those who watch the show or listen to the show on either Apple or Spotify. Carl Dunbar, when asked about the perception that David Bailey struggles against the run, said, don't care. Can he rush the passer? Dunbar explained a lot of college edge rushers aren't even asked to play the run. Quote, have you been seeing what we're doing? We're teaching them how to do what? Play the run, because you've got to earn the right to rush the passer. If you don't stop the run, they're not going to throw the ball. Dunbar's a proven D-line coach. If anyone could get David Bailey up to snuff there, I think it's him.
Yeah, listen, I love Dunbar. I would put my faith in him too. I would just say this at the same time. It's very difficult. You could teach a kid all you want, and you could get repetition going. It's very tricky if it's innate in the kid and its instincts. Trying to change those habits and the instinct of thinking one-track minds, one goal, take any direction to the quarterback. And even if it's against the run, his good run stop plays have been sort of in the pass rush mold, for lack of a better description. It's hard. It's hard to change that instinct. And that's what I've seen on tape. Now, maybe they can get it done. It would be astonishing to me to get it done in one summer. I'll say that.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Just End the Suffering says, what if we use the second round to get Sorsby and our 3 first-rounders to get players, one being Jeremiah Love? Thoughts? Jeremiah Smith is who you're thinking of. Jeremiah Love was just in the draft, and he got picked by the Cardinals. I don't think the Jets are going to use a second-round pick on Brendan Sorsby, even if they like him. So I don't see this as a possibility. Your thoughts on Brendan Sorsby? I
don't either. They drafted Klubnik for a reason. They like Klubnik. Glenn was asked today. I forgot who brought it up, but they brought up Sorsby. whoever the reporter was, and his answer was pretty much, "Hey, I'm focused on the guys in house," and that's the right answer. I wouldn't say they're completely ignoring it. I would say they're looking into it. They have it on mind, if I had to guess, but I don't
Well,
think
they already started looking into him as a player when they went to Texas Tech's pro day for David Bailey. So, like, they're
Right.
aware of it. They'll do their homework, but I don't
Sure.
think they're going to use a second-round pick to try and take him now.
Sure. I think that's the distinction. Like doing your homework and being in the game is far different than salivating at the mouth to grab the guy. I don't see second rounds. Could it potentially happen if they see a runway there, an opportunity? Maybe, but I wouldn't bet on it right now.
Hit the like button if you're just joining us. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Speaking of Sorsby, he will have a pro day on July 10th, according to his agent. So he's going to be in the supplemental draft, which will be held in mid-July. His pro day will be on July 10th. I'm sure the Jets will have representation there, but I just don't think the Jets, who need to win games this year, already took Klubnik, have a coach that is going to try and stick with Geno for as long as he possibly can because he's going to give him the best chance to saving his job. I just think there's a lot against the idea of the Jets actually being the team to use a notable pick on Brendan Sorsby.
Agreed. And then that's not even to take into account all the extra stuff. And look, I mean, the NFL, like the NBA, like everyone else, they have their hand in the cookie jar with sports betting. There's no doubt. I'm not a fan. I think it's just one step further to disaster. When is the big question? Probably way further down the road, but because it just flirts with the one thing no sport could ever overcome: integrity of the game. So there's a lot there with them, and I saw a bit of your show this morning with what's the dude's name? Your former
Cody
host.
Stutes.
Yeah, Cody. By the way, is there a better Texas? Is he a Texan?
Oh, yeah.
Is
Born
there a
and
better
raised.
Texan name than Cody Stutes? There's no other state you could live in if that's your name. Listen, dude, some people who had him as a first round grade, potentially. I think we're at the point in the NFL where there's a lot of quarterbacks like that, and it changes so rapidly, and it depends more so than ever the influence of the coaching and the situation. And if you look at it in that vein, and you look at it how it's played out in the last 10 years, and think about how many truly elite quarterbacks there are in this league, I would say 5 or 6. There's not that many. Everyone else is kind of in the fringe. There could be a lot of Brendan Sorsbys out there.
Speaking of gambling, today's show is brought to you by PrizePicks. Robby Sabo. Code HMA, $5 in, $50 in lineups immediately. Geno's numbers, astronomically low. Please, for the love of God, if you're going to play any Jet future, go more on Geno's passing yards and more on touchdowns. The only way he doesn't hit these numbers is if he gets hurt. You don't plan for that. These are astronomically low. Geno Smith blindfolded can throw for more than 2,605 yards.
Agreed. And by the way, my hands are not clean either in the sports, but my first site I sold to a sports betting company, and then I worked for them for a few years. So my hands are red, my friend. Yeah, those are low. The pass yards, pass TDs. How can you not take the over? I'm usually really conservative. Like on this show a couple weeks ago, I was talking about how I don't think Sadiq's going to hit the lofty expectations people have of him right now. But I could never go lower on these numbers with Geno. I think these are too low. Way, way, way too low.
Way, way, way too low. Folks, take advantage. PrizePicks. Click the link in the description. Use that code HMA. All right. Giveaway today for those tuning in late is dealer's choice. Sign Klecko jersey or sign Walt Clyde Frazier jersey. So gift away. And how about we do this? The first person to gift a membership, 5 or more, we're going to double it because we're 25 minutes into the show and we haven't had a gifted membership to this point. So competition, first to gift 5 or more, it is double for those of you who want in on the raffle this afternoon. Super chat from Big Fella who says Sabo was newly signed Darrell Jackson at minicamp today.
Mm-hmm. I actually spotted him at one point in practice because you gotta have focus in on these plays or in on these positions. You can't look at the whole thing. And at one point in red zones, actually all of red zone, they ran split field. They had the first team offense against the first team defense and then second team. So you couldn't watch both. But at one point I looked over at the second team field and there's Daryl Jackson playing that big end like Aaron Glenn said he would. And he's a monstrous human being. Again, I thought he was going to be Sweat's backup. It just made sense based on his size. But when Glenn described Onyemata's position, that 5 tech, maybe sometimes 4-eye, if you pinch him down a little bit in the 3-4 defensive end is an interior position. He fits that. He really does. That height, he's going to be Onyemata's shadow, I think, this summer. So that's a nice little project for Onyemata all summer. And nothing to mention in terms of play, but I just happened to see him playing that position today.
How about Aaron Glenn comparing Tavondre Sweat to Chris Jenkins? For those Jet fans who remember, 2008, Chris Jenkins, one of the best individual years in Jet defensive history in the last 25 years or so.
2008 still remains one of the more frustrating seasons. That team had talent. That team
should have been in the Super Bowl if Brett Favre didn't get hurt.
8-3. They beat undefeated Tennessee. Leon Washington running wild. Favre leading the way. Everything was in front of them. And then Chad Pennington. And then they just lose. Favre's injury, Chad Pennington. Yeah, I don't think Chris Jenkins, but I'm glad he said it because I instantly thought of the Hard Knocks goal line in the rain drills that Rex was running.
He got hurt in week 1 that year, and that was it for him as a Jet. So, like, we never really got to see Chris Jenkins with Rex. He got hurt, like, in the middle of 09. He had the great 08, and then that was it. But, like, we never got to really see. But he was such a big part of Hard Knocks 2010. He was, like, a respected veteran leader. And you watch it back down, and you're like, oh, yeah, I forgot Chris Jenkins was on the 2010 Jets.
2 things. Thank God for Sione Pua being on that team.
Mike DeVito.
Could you imagine that Sione Pua was the backup nose tackle? He was a stud. And I long for those days where they
DeVito, Sean Ellis, a lot of lunch pill guys on that defensive line. Calvin Pace.
Yeah, but you can't. It's hard to find lunch pill guys these days. Why? Because you can't run goal line in today's game. The 2012 CBA put an end to that pretty much. So there's no live goal line anymore. That's the last. We should put that in a vault and preserve it because that's the last we'll ever see of it, unfortunately.
Speaking of the 2010 Jets, Sexy Rexy was at practice today. Now, Rich was unable to confirm this, but he thinks it was true when I was talking with him. It was the first time that Rex had been back at the Jet facility for a practice since he was last the Jet head coach. Rex is pictured there in the center for those of you watching live on YouTube.
Yeah.
Did you guys get a chance to interact with Rex at all? Did he come by?
No.
Say hello to the media?
No. We were up top as they've put us in recent years. And to be honest, I didn't even spot him or notice him. It wasn't until the end when I did. And there were a few trying to see if he was going to address the team afterwards in the huddle in the big circle before they walked off the field. But I don't think anyone got a chance to see it. But yeah, it was pretty, nothing notable with Rex. Everyone saw him. His hair is fantastic. He's in the Gray Brotherhood, and that's about it. I mean, he showed face, and away we go.
Your thoughts on Seth Ryan as the pass game coordinator?
He met with the media last week, and he's got a lot of his mom in him. It's not the worst thing in the world. He chose offense to piss off Rex. You got to love that.
Mm-hmm.
His personality, you could tell there's a Rex personality hiding underneath what he portrays. And I'm sure it comes out behind the scenes. And that's a good thing, I think. But also in his face and when he smiles, you could tell it's Rex's son. There's no question. In terms of what he is strategically and X's and O's, I have no idea. Like if I were in those Lions coaches meetings, I would know, but I don't know. I think it should be positive. His reputation is positive, so we'll see what happens.
Robby Sabo is our guest. If you guys have a Jet-related question, write it in. Robby has been at all the OTAs and today's minicamp that was open to the media. Your thoughts on what you would like to see the rest of the week, today's Tuesday, so Wednesday and Thursday, 2 more before the Jets get the summer before training camp gets underway in late July.
There's a lot of teams who cancel these mini camps the last day, at least. I don't anticipate that happening with Glenn.
Well, because Glenn already told you what the plan is for Thursday. So I was like,
Yes.
It doesn't sound like he's canceling practice then.
Correct. And, kudos to him, because I just referenced it. The 2012 CBA changed football, put the stamp on how football's changed forever in terms of, light practice and what have you. If I were in his position, I would never give days back. I wouldn't give a minute back in terms of practice time. So kudos to him on that. It's more, a lot of it today. They did some walkthrough. A lot of it is mental. It's all mental pretty much for the most part. Yeah, they go live full speed at some sessions. And today was red zone and 2-minute drill. But it only constituted, 30 minutes tops. It wasn't that much. And I think it's going to be that way for the rest of the week, maybe with Thursday having the most action, which will be good. So once they get into teams, I really want to see what happens with Gino versus DeMario at the line of scrimmage and how it unfolds. But other than that, the tempo is high. It's as high as it could be for minicamp, I guess. And, walkthrough, I was telling someone today, walkthrough is the opportunity for coaches to find out if they have any complete idiots on their team. Because if you mess up the mental and walkthrough, you're gonna spotlight will be all over you. You're gonna stand out like a sore thumb. And I didn't see any of that today. I didn't see Glenn lose his mind or any of the coaches go nuts. So that's a good sign.
Kicking competition. Cade York versus Jason Sanders. Sounds like Sanders had a better day today.
Yeah. Sanders had the better day today. I'm one of those who doesn't get locked in on a kicking competition, which I think it's a fortunate thing, actually, for me. But yeah, Sanders had the better day. I think he's going to be the kicker. We'll see. It's unfortunate because Cade York, that last name is perfect for the Jets, but I think he's behind in the race right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we threw out a challenge. First to gift 5 or more would be in the raffle for double. And Rick Kent is the winner. 5 gifted memberships for Rick. He is in our Clyde Frazier or Joe Klecko signed jersey raffle for 5.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
Don't leave.
Who let the dogs out?
Don't leave.
NY in Atlanta. Close, but no cigar, but he's still in the Asmaniac raffle for 5. Let's go.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who? We got some dogs on this team, baby.
If you got a membership from NY, say thank you. PBM writes in, late to the party, LFG Knicks. How happy are you, Mr. Sabo? See y'all at the parade. It's going to be a movie. Let's go Knicks. Let's go Knicks. F. Wemby. Now, before I have Robbie answer, for those attending the Knicks parade, here's the plan. I posted it in the Discord for all the Asmaniacs. Get to the Starbucks at 33 Vesey Street at 7:30 a.m. or earlier, and we will walk over to our spot on Broadway. If you're taking the 1, the 2, the 3, the A, the C, the E, or the RW line, it will take you right to where you need to be. Or if you're taking the path, easy access, all the info there. It's on the graphic for the parade on Thursday. Got to be up early if you're going to be joining us. The after party after the parade will be at American Whiskey, great bar right next to Madison Square Garden. So if you're spending the day with the Asmaniacs for the Knicks Championship Parade, it is up there on the screen. Send this to your friends. We'll see you on Thursday. The New York Knicks are world bleeping champions, baby.
Yeah, we are the champions. Me and my friends from New York, we love the Knicks.
Robbie, we love the Knicks. What was your feeling watching them win a championship for the first time in your lifetime?
It was I was out. I was out with some folks, and I think I told you this. I had a hard time getting into it this playoff not because of the Knicks, but because they've come to hate the NBA. And it's people who hear that or see that can't believe it, because I grew up just a ridiculous, nonsensical Knicks fan. As a kid, 97, I cursed the day PJ Brown was born. Certain things that just die hard beyond belief. So but I had a hard time getting into it, honestly. Even in the finals, I had a hard time. But when it finally ended and the ball was thrown up at the end, it was great. Like it was sort of maybe it was just a sigh of relief, and thinking back on all those rough stretches and the close calls, 94 with Ewing. It was something to behold for sure. It was special, and I'm happy for all the diehards. It was a long time coming. It's the Mecca. It's not MSG is not just the Mecca, but New York City basketball is, and the long time coming. 53 years, one fewer year than the Rangers. 54-year curse ended in 94, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. But yeah, it was good. It was good.
Took a number 11 on the Rangers to end their curse. Took a number 11 on the Knicks to
That's
end
right.
theirs.
That's a good call. I didn't think about that.
But Brunson is so unique in that, Mark Messier was already a Hall of Famer. He won 5 cups. He was an all-time legend. Jalen Brunson is the unheralded superstar that we thought LeBron was going to be once upon a time for the Knicks, or KD and Kyrie, or winning the lottery to get Zion, or KP was going to be that guy. It's one of the true underdog stories ever, and he is an absolute immortal in the pantheon now of New York sports greats.
Yes, he is. And they both they weren't homegrown guys. They came from different franchises, and very different, for sure, very different. But absolutely, he is. We talked about it, the Mount Rushmore the other day, the last show, I think. He's on it. It's him, Clyde, Ewing, Willis, period. Right on the edges is DeBusschere, Pearl, Bernard King, but he's one of 4. There's no question about it.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. It is surreal. Let me ask you this. The Jets, their future. We've seen the Knicks win. Everything people said about the Knicks is now basically being said about the Jets. Should the Jet fan out there gain some hope after watching the Knicks complete their magical run to a title?
There's no harm in it. There's no harm in hope. But I think what you really have to look for is something internal with the Jets to gain true hope, to gain legitimate hope. And it starts with having the right leader at the helm to run the football program. Now, there will be Jets fans who will argue that's Darren Muji, and they have that guy right now. You could argue that. I think you're far, far away from being able to prove that, but that's the thing you need. Who's that football program leader that you could live and die with? And until they answer that question, all it will be is hope. It won't be legitimate hope. Legitimate hope.
It's just tough to picture the Jets winning a Super Bowl, but if you look at what the Knicks did,
it was impossible to picture the Knicks too.
Right. And the Knicks didn't just like magically flip a switch and win a title. This was a 6-year culmination of what Leon Rose built with 2 different coaches, bunch of different personnel moves, smart, shrewd transactions, trades, signings, like hitting on moves around the margins. Like the Jets aren't there yet, but the first thing the Jets could do is get out of the depths of hell and, just be above ground. Like the Knicks didn't just go from bad to when now they're competing for a title. They had to go through some tough seasons, losing the playoffs. But that first year with Tibbs is where it all really started, when he took over a 30-win team and they made the playoffs and overachieved in that first year, losing to the Hawks. Like you got to get out of hell before you can start to get to the top of the mountain. Like that's what Glenn needs to do this year. Show that he actually has a feel for how to coach the team. No one's saying you got to be a playoff team, but you got to show real improvement that you're actually headed in the right direction.
See, that's the thing. And I always hear about I've written about it, talked about it. I always hear about these grand plans, these grand rebuilding plans for the Jets. Do this year, find the quarterback next year, blah, 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 and we go. Doesn't work that way. Like you just said it, the Knicks didn't go from, cellar dwellers to championship contenders. No, but they turned it around in 1 year pretty damn drastically with a roster that really wasn't that great. It was pretty crap, actually, if we're going to be honest. And what is that signal? They hired the right leaders, Leon, and then Leon with Tibbs, the program builder. So again, I think it has to be tangible within Jets world. And it's not this grand plan, this grand rebuilding plan that's just the ethos. It's mythical. No, man, you could turn it around if you know what you're doing and you have the right folks leading the way.
Super chats, cut the line, but first let me shout out V-Man who checks in by gifting a membership. I know V-Man's pumped about his Knicks. Good job, V-Man.
Yeah.
Super chat from Sam who says, speaking of hope, any good news on tight end Mason Taylor?
He was pretty quiet today. I think pretty quiet. Not much. He looks solid out there. I still think he's going to be tight end 1. I really do. He's the more balanced, better overall player still. Sadiq's more of a freak, no question. He's got that pass catching ability, but I expect pretty good things from Mason, but nothing today.
Did you just say what I think you just said?
Yeah.
How many days a week?
7.
I was obsessed with Sadiq, certified freak. 7 days a week, has a hernia tweak. Obsessed with Sadiq, certified freak. Trying to critique what I read in Newsweek. Obsessed with Sadiq, certified freak. Trying to take a peek at his manly physique. Obsessed with Sadiq, certified freak. Time to take a leak and play hide and go seek.
Once I brought up Adam Shine talking about Sadiq's manly physique to Joe Beningo earlier. This is what Joe said.
I only worry about one person's penis, and that's mine. So everybody else's, I don't really care.
Yeah, it's as fair a statement as ever been said aloud.
It's a pretty good point by Joe. He's not wrong.
It is. It's hard to argue.
Speaking of Joe, here's Joe reacting to the Knicks winning a championship.
If I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere.
Willis jersey.
It's up to you, New York, New York, New York, world champions.
Yeah.
By the way, that game, and I knew the Knicks were going to win the entire time. It made sense, but Brunson saved them in the third quarter in that game. He knew what needed to be done. He knew he needed to slow the game down on the road, and he hunted for fouls like a maniac. And that 3 where he got 3 shots and he shouldn't have been a foul, but the refs got mad and tried to do a makeup call in the other way. A couple trips later, didn't matter. He got it done. Spurs bench was getting on him. What are you doing? Jumping in, drawing fouls. Didn't matter to him. He knew what he needed to do. He hunted for fouls. He slowed the game down, and he kept them in it. He won that game, and it flies under the radar, in my opinion. But in that third quarter, when he hunted for fouls and got it done, that's what stabilized things.
The last 8 minutes and 20 seconds of the game, he outscored the Spurs. He took over the game. It was a Jordan-esque performance. He scored half the Knicks' points in a closeout game.
Yeah, but to get there, it was masterful the way he hunted those fouls and got the calls. It's a double-edged sword for me because I hate the NBA in that type of play where you're drawing the fouls and you're hunting for. But there is an art to it, and you have to.
He was also getting fouled though. He got assaulted throughout the series, and there were a lot of non-calls.
Sure, there were fouls too, but it's not easy. Like the person I was with, she asked, "Why doesn't everyone do it then?" Because I was talking about it, and my response was, "It's not easy. You have to have reputation. You have to be really good. You have to get to that point, and
you have to know the defenders that are playing you. How are they aggressive? Do they let you do your thing? That's part of it. That's why Brunson's so good, because over the course of these series, he figures out how defenses are playing him. He's going at a 7'5" alien who's the unanimous defensive player of the year with the game on the line in the fourth quarter.
Correct. But I didn't want to go without saying that third quarter where he slowed the game down and it was so intentional, I think needs to be recognized.
Largest NBA Finals viewing audience since Jordan's last championship with the Bulls in 98.
It makes sense. NBA has been hurting, my friends. And Adam Silver, big grin on his face that the Knicks did what they did, 100%.
You want another big grin on your face?
Depends. Yeah, maybe.
Joe Blewett joins us now. Hey, Joe.
What's going on? What's going on,
Knicks fan Joe B. What's up? Did you
Jake,
cry?
I am so disappointed in you, by the way.
Why?
Jake did the thing on Twitter this week. He's basking in his victory. The Knicks just won. Should be celebrating, having beers all week. Coffee tastes better. It smells better outside. Jake has to tweet about the Nets. Just had to do it.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, what'd you say?
Hold
had
on.
to do it.
I was with a Net fan at a wedding over the weekend, and we were talking about it. Right. Because I was talking about how, like, as bad as the Jets are, like, I still have, like, an audience. I was like, the hardest job at sports has to be who's ever trying to sell tickets right now for the Brooklyn Nets. It was not intended to be a shot. I was having the conversation with the Net fan, and I thought it'd be funny to tweet out, but it wasn't supposed to be like a shot. It's like we were talking about how tough it is to try and like sell tickets to the for the Jets. So I'm sorry if that offended you, Joe Blewett.
Hey,
but
kudos to you for thinking of an excuse on the fly like that quickly.
I know.
Who is this person? Your
Read
cousin?
the response. Read the response.
Okay.
Who is this person? Your cousin's babysitters, aunts? Who is it?
My friend Sam Cooperman. We were at a wedding.
Yeah. That's a real name. Yeah. Okay.
Joe, you weren't the only Net fan that apparently was chapped. Someone tweeted me, and I go, sorry, man, wasn't intended to be a shot. I'm at a wedding right now. I'm talking about this with a Nets fan. You could check the timestamp if you don't believe my excuse.
Yeah, I have to look into it, but I saw it come across the timeline. I'm like, God damn it! Like, of course, Jake's taking shot at the Nets. You know,
I'll give you another 2 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges. All right.
Yeah.
I had somebody saying that on my live stream last week. They're talking some crap to Nani. I'm like, they have a championship. You can't really talk any crap about Mikal Bridges right now.
Yes,
so.
you can't. Jake, didn't you say Joe was rooting for the Knicks if the Spurs got there? Was that the line, or was it OKC?
OKC.
I forgot which team it was.
But towards the end of it, I definitely hated this. I started to hate Wembanyama a little bit more. I still was not rooting for the Knicks. So, but after that massive fourth quarter comeback by the Knicks, I did text Jake because I was happy for some of the Knicks fans, but can't be happy for all of you.
By the way, how is it mathematically possible to score 73 in the first half and 30 in the second half?
Yeah, the Spurs, and Jake, I think you nailed it too. It's like you're talking about the experience or lack thereof for the Spurs, and the lack of experience murdered them in some of those games. Wembanyama throwing the ball off the back of whoever that was, De'Aaron Fox not just dribbling the ball out with 17. I was screaming when he's running on the court, just dribble it out, but nope, didn't. The Knicks deserved it anyway because I think they did get hosed by the refs. But those those blunders in those 2 games will haunt me for a few years. But I am super jealous. I cannot lie.
Here's some Wembanyama playoff highlights for everyone to enjoy. Dirtbag.
Yeah, super dirty. The one he did like a flying like I don't even know what it was, like kick to was that OG in the last game?
Yeah, the first this was in
right there.
4, right there. That's the play.
Yep.
I didn't even see that. That's the worst one by far, the Minnesota one.
This should have been a flagrant. He would have been suspended for Game 6 tonight.
I don't know, dude. The one I was talking about with OG, I think is the worst one because he's trying to purposefully kick out his knee. Like an elbow you could recover from, but if you hyperextend his knee and blow out his knee just in general, like I think that's even worse. Not like this is obviously dirty, but where is it? It might pick in a player or two, but that's the worst one to me.
Here's the one thing I'll say in his defense. I'm not a fan, but at the end of Game 4, for those watching, under a minute left, Knicks had the ball at the top of the key. Cat was off ball, and he elbowed him in the face, and he didn't go down. Like a lot of guys would have went down, like they got shot, but he took a pretty hard elbow. So yeah, there's dirtiness with him and his lankiness, and there's definitely dirtiness there. But at the same time, he doesn't fall down like he got shot, like he's a soccer player. So I'll say that.
Yeah, a little bit of choking at the end too. I expect him to step up a little bit more like in some of those late game situations, but he just doesn't want it at the end. Missing free throws, not taking shots.
Yeah, he disappeared. Like,
yeah,
if there was more intent with him going down low, they would have had a much better shot. But it was just too spotty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ultimate hate watch. But congrats. What 3 losses, right, in the entire playoffs? It's wild.
1 after the first round.
Yeah, just
and also as a Knicks fan, I'll say it was meant to be. It was Nas. It was written, that album, because once Philly beat Boston, it felt like it was going to be Knicks Spurs all the way. And then once Cleveland beat Detroit, my God, everything broke right. And then OKC losing to San Antonio, it was written. It was meant to be all the way.
Yeah, world champs, baby, world champs.
Some serious FOMO. I cannot even speak to how jealous I am. I just want the playoffs. I just want like a second round playoff run from any of my teams, because even when the Devils get in, they get eliminated by the first or second round because they're so soft. Like, I haven't seen a deep playoff run in so many years.
What happened?
Devils
they got off to such a hot start this year. Was it this year? They got off to such a hot start. What the hell happened?
They do every year. They're soft. They're soft. They're injuries. They re-signed Markstrom to they extended him after he gave up like 6 or 7 points in one of his first games, and then extended him after. They're just a really soft team. Hughes always goes down. They need some more physicality on that team. But yeah, I have serious jealousy. I can't lie.
The Devils were my number one hated team as a kid. They made me nuts. Scott Stevens, Brodeur. Oh, fucking
Rivulski. They were dominant.
Oh, fucking.
Well, Robby, I do want to say thank you for hopping on. Joe Blewett normally joins me
I'm gone now.
Tuesdays.
Joe's here and now I'm gone. Is that what
did you have another point?
No.
The Devils?
No, I'm just fucking right. I'll go now, okay? If that'll make you happy.
Wait, don't go yet. Don't go yet. I forgot I have something for you. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. All right. I
might do the Irish goodbye.
No. Do it right now.
It's time for Robby Sabo. Not Ricky Dicky top of the dingo. He's a rubby dubby dabo. The silver fox, he got hair like a wingo. It's the rubby dubby doobie Sabo. He got jet points up his freaking wazingo. Let's hear from Robby Sabo.
Bang. Thank you, Robby.
I was going to drop $50 just to put him in the hole, so get rid of him, you know?
Hey, if you do that, you got a chance to win one of 2 prizes today. Don't worry. We know you don't want the Clyde one, but we have a signed Joe Kleckner jersey up for grabs on the show.
Yeah, no, I might take the Clyde one and then just do disgusting things to it while I'm on the stream, and you guys can't stop me.
Dave wrote, I'm gone. Let me shout out Derek, the Kansas Jet fan. He's in the raffle for one today. Good luck, Derek. I appreciate you. For those tuning in late, we did announce this. Gangrene Beach Club, big time Jet legend, going to be hanging out with us. Wayne Corbett is coming through to HQ2 on July 11th. So come meet Wayne Corbett, Fireman Ed, Rich Samini, Joe Blewett, Jake Asman, who's who, Brandon Tierney, everyone in one spot, including number 80 at Gangrene Beach Club. Tickets are available. First come, first serve. GangreneBeachClub.com. All right. Super chat from Sam, and then we're going to get into this Joe Tippmann contract. And Joe, you have some film on Tippmann. We'll discuss whether or not he is worth the contract the Jets gave him. Sam writes in, we were supposed to be swept by any team that came out of the West. Please stop making excuses. Knicks were the better team. Amen. Spurs were young, and the Knicks were ready, and the Knicks outplayed them when it mattered. And that's how you win. 100%.
Yeah. And like I said, you nailed the experience thing. That was 100%. That was you saw it all throughout. And I get the Knicks should have even won by more in some of those games if the refs weren't so biased. But the experience thing killed the Spurs at the end. Like, even in that run, again, the ultimate hate watch, just staring. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, dude. The amount of threes they were chucking up with 16 seconds in the play clock. I'm like, why are you guys not just dribbling out a little bit more? But it just felt like destiny. Like, as soon as they started coming back and it was cut within 20 and then 15 and then 10, there's a crowd pops for each level that they got up. You knew it was coming. So again, I can't even hate the Knicks. Like, I actually like the individual Knicks and the actual team. It's just I can't, the cheap shots to the Nets the day or two after the championship from guys like Jake just drive me crazy. So
all right, Joe Blewett. The Jets made some news this week.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Tippmann is here to stay. 4-year deal, $62 million. Very front-loaded contract. It's essentially a 2-year deal with the guarantees. What was the initial reaction seeing the Jets extend Tippmann?
Yeah, I was really happy. You look at some of the numbers. Week 7 to 18, he had an 81 pass blocking rate from PFF, which is first among right guards. And then he also had a pressure rate of 3.34% as per Nania, which placed him 5th best amongst guards. So a little bit spotty to start off the season, and you'd expect that with moving from center to right guard, but he really, really picked it up. And obviously tackle is more important than guard. I think guard's still a very valuable position in today's NFL. And I think he's currently the Jets' second best offensive lineman. I think Fashanu has a higher ceiling, but in terms of who's better relative to their position. I thought Tippmann was a better right guard than Fashanu was left tackle. And now you have, 3 of 5 pieces locked up for the long term. Obviously, to see what they do with Fashanu in a few years from now, but he's here for the next few years. Tippmann's here for 4 more years. Obviously, Membu's here for quite a few more years. And even Parham's here through 2027. And I actually like him. We're going to do a review on him later on in the offseason, but I like him more than some other people do. And I think he's perfectly average, which is fine. So you have 4 offensive linemen who are average to plus average. I think that makes out to be what should be a top 10 offensive line. I think anything less than a top 10 offensive line, it's going to be a disappointment. Find a replacement at center next year and you're really cooking. But having one guy who's below average on your team, that should be a really good offensive line.
I mean, you just look at the infrastructure that's in place, regardless of the quarterback or the coaches a year from now. Yeah, they have real talent on this team on that side of the ball. Like, this is not Sam Darnold stepping into a situation where he has nothing to work with. Like, there are real players on this team that will at least give whoever the quarterback is in 27 a chance to not be put in a spot where they're going to fail automatically.
On both sides of the ball, right? Like, there's talent. And again, like, I'm not trying to gas up the Jets. Like, they're not going to necessarily go anywhere this year, but they have talent all over the team. Like, defensive line has plenty of talent. Linebacker, you want some more depth. They have DeMario Davis. They have some talent at safety with Minka now. They have some guys at corner who we like. I really like AZ Thomas. I like Pons. Stiggers is a good special teamer. They have Nashawn Wright. So, and then on offense, like you said, you should have a top 10 offensive line. You're at least 3 deep at receiver. And I consider Tim Patrick, a decent number 4. You're 2 or 3 deep at tight end. You got a top 10-ish running back in the league. It really, a lot of the offense is on Reich and it's on Geno. But if every team had the same quarterback in the NFL, if every single offense had Geno Smith and Frank Reich, like, I think this offense would be up there in terms of talent. But obviously, a lot hinges on those 2 guys on the total success of the offense. But skill positions, offensive line is all plus average, or at least average to me right now, which we haven't been able to say for quite a bit.
Amen. All right, Joe, let's get to a little film on Joe Tippmann, then we'll do some calls before we wrap up the show. Joe Tippmann, the versatility. We know he could play center. He could play guard. I know we're just looking at his most recent season where he was a guard the whole year. But in your opinion, just real quick on the guard center conversation, is he a better guard or center based on the film you've watched?
Yeah, I think he's pretty close pretty close in terms of his guard play to his center play. The reason I like him at guard a little bit more is just because of it kind of thwarts the snapping issues that we saw from him at center. And it was pretty evident in his 2 years at center. He was all over the place with his snaps. So being at guard obviously can hide that. So I do think he's a better guard because of that sole reason. But in terms of like minus the snapping, everything is pretty on par from guard to center. But I'd rather hide that snap problem because it's a legitimate issue. So I'm going to take him at guard over center, but he has the flexibility to play both. But I'm hoping they do keep him there because him and Membu, the continuity that Glenn talked about, it matters. And keeping Tippmann there will also make Membu more comfortable, make Tippmann more comfortable. So again, I think what they need to do is just find a center. Hopefully, maybe in offseason, maybe somebody gets cut. Maybe there's a guy in free agency they're eyeing who they're negotiating with. I still think that's the biggest flub of the offseason, minus not retaining Nick Folk, is not adding a legitimate starter at center. And I know you can't address every single hole every single offseason, but there were some guys there in the 4th round who I really liked, with like Sam Hecht and some other dudes who were out there who could potentially push Myers. But overall, yeah, I think he's a better guard than center just because of that snapping reason mainly.
Let's get to some of the film here. And again, anytime you do film on a Jets offensive player last year, we're reminded of just how awful the quarterback play is. But here we go. Joe Tippmann, big number 66, playing, of course, right guard next to Armand Membu. So go ahead, Joe.
Yeah. I got 7 positive. We can do the 4 negative after if we want to. If not, then I don't really care about the negative. This is obviously going to be selling the more positivity on Joe Tippmann, who, again, I think was a plus average right guard. And like those stats I read before, from week 7 or 8 to week like 18, he was a top 5 right guard in the league. So he was very good. And this is even before that. But he's comboing. He's in a combo the 2 technique right here to the backside backer. They're running like a lead zone where the fullback Beck is going to block 59. So he's working this combo to the backside backer right here, number 50. And we'll talk about it. Very good combo blocker. I think in the run game, he needs to work more on like one-on-one blocks. He tends to be a little bit late and low with his hands and get his chest controlled a little bit more than you'd want to see. But on combo blocks, he's very good at, which is good because Frank Reich should be running a little bit more zone than like power and counter type stuff with this Jets offensive line. But he does a really good job here, and I'll run through these pretty quickly. I know we're on the back half of the show; it's not the front half of the show. So does a really good job. He zone steps to the right here, and he just stays very tight to the D tackle. He doesn't want to get too wide and let this D tackle kind of penetrate this A gap. So he stays very tight to the guard. He does a good job with the hand placement. He gets the left hand inside, and then almost like a defensive lineman who use a hump move to move guys. He kind of uses a quasi hump move as an offensive lineman here. He gets underneath of his armpit right here, and he torques him. He torques him to the inside, allowing Josh Myers to get good positional leverage to the outside.
Calm your freaky down.
You said the hump move and then
hump
torque?
move, yes. Hump move, torque, yeah. There's core power. There's a lot of things you could twist like that. So he does a really good job torquing him into the into Myers. Keeps his eyes on a second level threat, so he can stay a little bit tighter on the first level here because it's not like 50's getting over the top here quickly. So again, he could take some liberties and hang out on the first level a little bit more there. Does a good job allowing the center to get that positional leverage. He then stays attached with the left arm, and he's still on this block, eyeing 50. 50 stays a little bit shallow, jumps on 50, the second level, gets a hand on him. And if he weren't to stay on this first level block a little bit longer, he probably pushes across Myers' face right here and makes the tackle. But because Tippmann was smart and patient right there, in terms of peeling off the second level, now Brees has this alley. So this alley is made by Tippmann here, and you can see how open it is. So hell of a block there by Tippmann on the front side of that block. We have a good pass block here. This one is Tippmann, obviously to the right side right here, against you can call him like a loose 3-tech. And he does a really good job just like kind of chasing the hip and pancaking number 90. So initially sets at him. And what's good here is the hand placement, like the adjustment that he makes as 90's trying to cross his face. And they're running a TT stunt right here where he's going to, again, calm your freaky down, but he's going to try to penetrate right here and knock Myers' hip, and then it's going to create kind of a log jam, and then 97 is going to loop around here. So Tippmann initially engages, gets hands on, good hand placement, left to the inside, right is somewhere over the top to the shoulder. Now with the 90 trying to cross his face, he can't really keep his hand high. So what he does is he removes his hand off of the shoulder pad, then attacks the hip. You're going to see the hand high a little bit here. You're going to see the hand come off, attack that hip. When we attack the hip and we have a nice tight, like 45-degree arm angle here, that's going to create a lot of movement, which then takes out Milton Williams' legs. So he goes 2 for 1 right there because of how well he took on that, the picker or the penetrator, or whatever you want to call him on that TT stunt. So really, really good job with the hand placement, refitting the hands, chasing the hip, pancaking, and taking care of that TT stunt right there.
It's just infuriating to watch Justin Fields just not throw the ball.
Oh my God, dude. The amount of times I watched the Jets season back and like watching AD Mitchell, watching Garrett Wilson, watching Mason Taylor, I watched all their seasons individually. So I watched Justin Fields' season probably like 7 different times because I watched all the offensive linemen, all the receivers. It's not really going to get worse than that ever, hopefully, because that was brutal. As bad as Zach Wilson ever was, as bad as Tim Boyle ever was, Justin Fields was just as bad, if not worse. So, Tippmann on a combo right here, the right guard against 94, does a really, really good job here again on his combo blocks and like staying really disciplined to that first level where he won't leave that block on the first level unless the second level threat is getting to where he needs to be quickly. Tippmann is really, really patient with just staying on the first level. Again, zone steps, does a good job of engaging, getting hands on, good leverage, eyes to the second level, right? He's looking where he needs to be. And this is a Jim McNally thing. He's an offensive line coach for, I forget the teams he's an offensive line coach for, but he runs a lot of clinics. And what he says with combo blocks and just like not committing the hips is, he says, turn the turret, not the tank being the lower half, the turret being the upper body. You could turn the upper body and commit to a block, but once you start over committing the lower body as well, that's when we can get hung up a little bit too much on the first level. So Tippmann does a really good job of just committing the upper body here. Again, hips are square to where he needs to go to the second level. Eyes are on where he needs to be on the second level. So really, really patient, good feet, good eyes, stays engaged with that left hand, allowing Myers to get good position on that block, carries the block, carries the block, carries the block. And again, let's say this block wasn't blown on the second level here. You're talking about a massive alley that Joe Tippmann would have created, but obviously other things happened that didn't aid to that happening. So let's see. Good stunt pickup. Okay, so we got Tippmann here, 66 against it's like a slanted three tech, loose three tech, and really, really good job here on the stunt. Okay, so stays a little bit tighter to the inside. You don't want to overset it. We've talked a lot about the trenches the last week or so. Like I said, with that outside foot, ideally we split the crotch of the guy you're blocking against. Again, that's not a catch-all, but typically that's what you're going to see. So he does a really good job of not oversetting. Good timing and patience with the hand. Lands into the chest of the defensive lineman. Again, his eyes are up. Noticing, okay, now we have a TE stunt right here. Eyes are up for that looper. Uses 55 as like a launching point. Pushes himself off. Grabs the looper with really, really good timing. Alley for Justin Fields. Perfectly clean pocket because of Tippmann and his ability to pass off that stunt right there. We got 3 left. Let me see what number we're at. 29. Pancake from Tippmann. Now, this is probably his biggest highlight of the year. This is a ridiculously hard hit. Now, I'll be completely transparent here. And does he get a little bit lucky, or does it look a little bit better than it actually is? Because 40 kind of, puts on the brakes and sits back on his heels coming into a block with a 300-pound offensive lineman. Yeah, it's probably not the best technique in terms of taking on an offensive lineman in the world, but it's a fun play from Tippmann, getting out in space, using some athletic ability. We could see in terms of like how patient he is getting to the second level. He's really, really patient with the feet and not like chasing there. Staying in control of his feet. And once he gets into that contact window, he kind of lunges at him and knocks him on his ass. Again, not the best technique by the defender there, but still a good job by Tippmann. Here we have a snatch and trap on 90, which is, I think it's Brian Breesy, right? I think he's from Clemson, if I'm not wrong, a few years ago, like a second or third round pick to the Saints. But you can see some of the issues here where he engages wide. You can see that his hands are on set. His hands aren't on here. He doesn't have the best leverage because he's 6'6". So you have a situation where it's not ideal off the start, right? Like you're getting your chest controlled. You're higher than the defensive lineman who's engaging with you, but feels the defensive lineman, Breesy, start to lean into that arm. And again, when you feel the guy leaning into that arm, if you could chop it down, great, because there's a lot of pressure into that left arm right now. There's a lot of pressure, into that left arm, and his balance is dependent on that pressure still being there. Chops down the arm, really good timing, and now we have a pancake. So really good job. Again, initially not in the best spot for Tippmann, but how do you adjust? You chop that arm down, pancake him. Cook has all the time in the world right there to hit Isaiah Davis. And I got one more. Again, we'll do the good on this one. Good eyes and a good feel for a stunt here. I think we have a TE stunt, I believe. Let's watch Tippmann. And this is just like a natural feel for stunts and like how things go in the NFL. I don't even think he necessarily can guarantee it's coming here. But when you are engaging this defensive lineman, the defensive tackle, and he lands his hands on you, but you could feel it's like a little bit softer, and he's not necessarily like trying to bull rush you, and he's kind of just trying to engage, but not necessarily like run through your face. He can kind of feel it. You could see as the defensive lineman engages with them, he could feel, okay, this isn't necessarily a bull rush. He's kind of just delaying here. He's not really fully engaging with me. And as soon as he feels that, we can see his eyes immediately snap to the right, and he notices, okay, this is that ET stunt. Sorry, I think I said TE before, but this one's ET with the looper. So we have E is the picker, T is the looper. So that's why it's ET. Whoever's the picker comes first. Feels it, drops off of it, picks it up. Really good timing there. And then even post that, he takes care of the his initial job where he picks up that penetrator, that picker, like I just said, passes it off to Myers, notices, hey, Membu's a little bit tight, so it's gonna be hard for him to get back outside on 97. So not only does he do his job, but now he also, hand on the back of Membu, pushes Membu to get back out on his guy, which is very impressive for Tippmann to end that, to have that awareness right there, head snap, pick up your guy, know you passed off the picker there, and then to pick up Membu's guy as well by putting your hand on Membu's back and pushing him into his assignment is very good. So you can see some of the reasons that he was talked about as highly as he was during the season. I think he's plenty deserving of the contract he got from the Jets. I think he is a near top 10 right guard in his first year as right guard, and you're expecting that he only continues to take steps in the right direction of being a Pro Bowl guard for years to come for the Jets.
I think it's exciting that he's only 25 and seemingly with better quarterback play and another year of growth with the guys on this line. They should be a lot better collectively this year. I think it's a no-brainer to extend him. I like that Muji has been very proactive with all these extensions. He has been way different than other Jet GMs in the past when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah, and I have to listen back to Aaron Glenn's press conference. I think it was today, right? But he was talking about like building an identity of the team, right? And if we could solidify the defensive line and solidify the offensive line, it's okay. This team wins in the trenches where like I think he's signed 13 players to extensions now, right? And that's what McCagnon and Douglas did combined in their like 8 years or whatever. So he's about identifying the talent on the roster, signing them while it's still like, financially beneficial to the Jets, right? Like what if we waited to sign Garrett Wilson? If we waited to sign Tippmann until next year, instead of $15.5 million, he might be getting $20 million with how the interior offensive line market has blown up. So identifying the guys you want to build around is great. Getting them for good deals is also great from Muji. So he's really moving like he knows what he's doing, but it's all going to come down to head coach and quarterback. So he's done a lot of things well, but if he doesn't land on those, then his fate is obviously to be determined still kind of.
This was Glenn earlier on Tippmann.
Character, first and foremost, of a guy that was competing at the center spot. And that's something that we've done with a number of guys is try to create competition. And once we had the injury to AVT, he was more than willing to move over to the guard spot and just take on that job. And he didn't complain. He didn't say anything about it. Only thing, Coach, what do you need us to do? So, he's one of those guys that you want to be around for a long time just because he is as a person and obviously how good he is as a football player. So he's took on that role, did a damn good job for us. And the thing about it, he still has room to grow, to be a better guard. So we're looking forward to that going into next year.
I do agree. I think that he can continue to get better.
Yeah, and the Jets have how much money now next offseason? Probably like 80-ish million, right? Well, with Brees's extension. With Brees's and Tippmann's extensions, though, probably.
Yeah, okay. It's over. I saw 150 million. That's what I've been operating. Because think about all the dead money that's coming off their books.
Yeah. Okay. So let's even say just 100+ million, somewhere right around there. Like, who do they have to sign next offseason? I saw the list on Twitter. It was like David Onyemata, Eden Agbari, Geno, Harrison Phillips, Tim Patrick. Like, there's really not a lot of players who they need to extend next year. And if you do extend these guys, it's not going to take up a ton of the cap. So the Jets really do have a good core of players to walk into. Hopefully they just land on the right quarterback, right? Like, I don't know if I could do another quarterback bust, top 5 pick bust for the Jets. I don't know if I can handle it, to be transparent. It would be pretty brutal. Especially knowing people like you, like it's like, hey, you got your Knicks championship. If the Jets don't win next year, that's fine. I'll kind of just lean back on the Knicks. I have nothing. So I need this really, really bad.
I feel it, man. I feel you. I'm rooting for you. Candyman's rooting for you. He goes, Blewett is a beast. Candyman, you're in the raffle for 4. And I'll tell you what, Joe Blewett is, in fact, a certified beast. I can confirm.
How?
I know what you do for a living. You put your life on the line.
Yeah, no, I do. I appreciate that. Again, I am a ultimate hater this week. Again, I'm happy for the Knicks fans who are also Jets fans. But keep the Nets out of your mouth. That's
it's good karma though.
We're gonna have,
I'm telling you,
we're gonna
if
have
the
issues.
Dude, if the Knicks could win, so can the Jets. That's how you got to look at it.
Yeah, and realistically, I know a lot of people talk about Dolan, and I know we spoke about this with Woody Johnson before. Like Woody Johnson gives people the necessary resources. Listen, I don't like Woody Johnson and a lot of what he's done with the Jets and some of like just he can be a little bit tone deaf. Like after we lose to the Chiefs and we get hosed by the refs, maybe don't tweet about Taylor Swift and being Swifties and all that stuff. There's like little things, the parking lot sucking, the stadium sucking, all that other stuff. But like he doesn't intervene until it really like shit starts to hit the fan a little bit. So maybe he'll be like Dolan and he'll just be hands off and let these guys run the ship. And maybe they impress this year. Maybe they go 8-9, and we're really pointing in the right direction. They always point in the right direction. We land the quarterback. I could be hopeful, but do I expect all that stuff? I'm a Jets fan, so I tend to expect the worst and hope for the best because it hurts less that way. So
the hope is all we have, Joe Blewett.
Yeah. I'm grasping for straws right now because NBA draft is in 5 days, but the Nets, of course, hold the 6th pick that they traded the Rockets back for. So it was really worth it.
I'll give you a great image that might bring a smile. The Jets posted this picture of Sexy Rexy back at practice today.
Yeah, I wonder if he's like giving them any pointers or like what the involvement with Rex is on the field, right? Because I know Westhoff is walking around the field the last few weeks, and I'm sure he's giving Banjo pointers, but I wonder if Rex has the same freedom because he doesn't really have that relationship with Aaron Glenn, right? They haven't really crossed paths, I don't think.
Well, Glenn was a scout when Rex was still the coach, but I don't know.
Oh, was he?
The relationship.
Yeah, no. I love Rex. I love everything he did for the Jets. I am definitely not one of those fans who wanted Rex back. I want absolutely nothing to do with Rex. He was good however many years ago that was, and obviously he really steered the ship into a dark hole that we had to come out of for many years just like drafting his son's friend from Clemson. Like Taj Boyd was a completely wasted pick just because he's a friend, a friend of your son's. So I want nothing to do with Rex. I want nothing to do with Gruden. I know you're a little bit on the Gruden train, but again, he hasn't been good since when. So I like to see his face, but not as the actual coach of the Jets.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, baby.
Good times. Joe, you're the man. I appreciate you hopping on as always. Great breakdown on Tippmann.
Yeah. We'll keep chugging along. We'll do, I don't even know what we're doing next week. Malachi Moore or whatever the hell we're going to do.
Brendan Sorsby. Brendan Sorsby, supplemental draft. You
I was going to say that. That was in my opening. I'm used to like coming on and talking to you a little bit before we come on here. And I went right away with the Nets thing. But I was like, not the Knicks winning the championship. That was not the worst thing that happened to me this week. It was freaking Brendan Sorsby, which I still don't understand. Maybe I'll have to watch him. We will see. I don't know when the draft is going to be. Probably July, right? I believe it is. So
Pro Day, July 10th, and then supplemental draft probably like mid-July. So a week after that, July 17th.
Nothing higher than a 5th, if even a 5th. That's where I stand. I really do. I don't want to do it for Sorsby. I don't understand the timing and how it's going to work out. Like, what is he going to have to do for you to not draft a quarterback in 2027? So I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's just a 4th round pick, but the draft is deeper next year than it was this year. And we could have got a starter in the 4th round this year if you picked up like Sam Hecht or something like that. So you're going to have a really good player in the 4th round next year. I'm not willing to just throw it away just to throw it away. And people will be like, oh, well, he has Josh Allen traits. He could be a 1st round pick after this year, or he could be a 6th round pick like Garrett Nussmeier. So I'm not wasting a 2nd round pick on a guy who has a lot to prove still. So 5th round pick at the highest. That's where I stand.
Totally fair. You're the man, Joe. Hang in there.
Yeah, I'll see you next week.
Joe Blewett from JetX. Blewett's film reviews, as good as any in the business. Always love. We could get Joe on. Good breakdown there on Joe Tippmann. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Let me shout out Mike Dems, who wants in on the raffle. It's either a Klecko signed jersey or a signed Walt Clyde Frazier jersey. You pick, ladies and gentlemen. Mike in 4, 5.
No, thank you.
Jets. Let's go.
Thank you very much to our guy, Mike Dems. Mimosa checking in. She says, just joining, do we have a kicker yet? Well, the kicking competition today, Mimosa, continue to heat up. Jason Sanders hit from 42 and 50. He missed one from 50. Cade York missed two from 50 plus, one doinked off the upright and made one from 50. So pretty mixed bag today from the minicamp practice. The kicking stats I just read were from Zach Rosenblatt. Again, I don't know if the Jets kicker for 2026 is on their team right now. This is going to go into training camp and we'll see if someone emerges. But I never understood not bringing back Nick Folk, and hopefully this doesn't bite the Jets and then you know what. Because their margin for error is so thin. Like the difference in the Jets winning 5 or 7 games could be their kicker, and that could be Aaron Glenn's job. They win 7, he might be here. They win 5, he's gone. That's how vital this all is. Crazy. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Let's do some calls on the Gusbuster Umbrella hotline, and then we'll do the raffle at the end of the show. First up today is a man who's celebrating a world title.
There we go, got it. 20 years aged. Let's go, Knicks, baby. That is so fucking smooth. Let's go, Knicks. Great season. Let's do it all again.
V-Man.
I'm surprised you guys found that.
My research team does a great job, V-Man. We find everything.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's all technically. Yes, I did open it for that. You can see that. But yeah, there are not many things I will drink like this from now on. I'm only drinking it for special occasions because, like I said, this is $300. So, you know, you don't drink $300 liquor for any special occasion, for any regular occasion. You know what I mean.
You're a world champion, V-Man.
No, that was a game. I'm glad I got off for that.
You coming to the parade on Thursday? You gonna hang out with us?
I got work that night, so it's like I didn't take off for it. Obviously, it's like and I gotta work. So it's like I guess like the thing is because I work Wednesday night. I'm gonna work Wednesday to Thursday, so it's like I'm gonna be too exhausted to stay out for the parade. Like, when is the parade actually?
The parade starts at 10 a.m.
I guess, I guess theoretically, like, I could stay in the city for like a couple of hours after work, but I don't know. It's like, because like it would, I wish I could, but like I said, I'd be leaving my dogs alone and they wouldn't be eating because my mother's working the polls right now, early election stuff, primaries. So there'd be nobody watching them. They'd be going until like 12 o'clock without eating. So that's unfair to them.
I see.
So like, I would say if I could, but I said that would be me being a bad dog owner, and I'm not going to be a bad dog owner.
How does it feel to be a world champion?
I feel good. That was the fun game. The best part has been like just watching like all the reactions online, like all like the massive copium being huffed by like Spurs fans has just been just amazing to see. Just like how much they've been just coping after this, and and I was watching some of the fans, with Craig who said like it's amazing throughout this entire run, like every one of the Knicks opponents has been making like a copious amount of excuses on why they lost, just not accepting that the Knicks just outplayed them.
You're not wrong.
No, it's like that's why I actually put underneath my banner. We're not a joke anymore. New York City sports finally, can be coming out of that dump, coming out of the gutter slowly but surely. And it starts with the Knicks. We gotta match it with baseball, football. Not much. Funnily enough, I'm not much of a hockey guy, even though I've watched plenty of college hockey.
Is your favorite Knicks player Jose Alvarado? How come you don't have an Alvarado jersey yet?
I got it. I probably gonna get one, but man, I can't imagine how exhausted he was. Just going after the fucking celebration, getting off the plane, just hopping straight into the Puerto Rican Day Parade. Just that must have been exhausting for him.
Where were you? I didn't see you at the Puerto Rican Day Parade.
I'm having a fit with my neighbor. My neighbor filed a complaint about her dog. Like I said, my mom's working the elections, so I couldn't go. Like I said, I couldn't go to the parade or the festival because last thing I need is my dogs, having a barking fit, and then, she just my neighbor filing another complaint about it.
Your neighbor filed a complaint about your dog barking?
Yeah. Like my mother and I leave the dog out on the deck, when the weather's nice so that they can, get some fresh air. So the dog barked, we're within the city's, the city says, you can, as long as it's not for longer than 5 minutes, you're okay. But we live in a gated community, so the gated community has its own rules, but the gated community apparently doesn't specify how long before it's a problem. So it's like a whole clusterfuck of a situation. And so, I don't need any problems with this neighbor. This neighbor's been, the last few years has been getting kind of dickish. If you know what I mean.
I don't think I know what you mean, but okay.
They're being kind of a jerk. You know what I'm saying?
Ah.
So it's like, yeah. So it's like I said, there's nothing like that. I gotta just. I don't want any problems. I don't want to. Didn't want to have any problems with them filing a complaint or anything. So I just stayed home. Unfortunately.
You know what they say? More money, more problems.
So it's ironic because I had taken the day off before, I had taken the day off in advance for the festival and the parade. And it gets, it was perfect that, game 5 just happened to coincide with that day. So despite the fact I couldn't go to the festival, I was able to watch game 5, but, without having to, although I will tell you this, I was walking past the Garden, for game 4, when they made that miraculous comeback. I'm literally walking to work, and I say to myself, I should get out of here. I walked right by the Garden when they took the lead for the first time in game 4. And I said to myself, I should get out of here because I can just see this line of cops just and you can hear them, they're blaring. They got the automated machine telling you to, disperse, or you will not, they're telling you to disperse or you're going to get fucking arrested. And I actually had one of my coworkers tell me it the other day for game 3 that they could not get to work. They could not and they had to pull out their security badge for the building they worked in just for the cops to let them pass. It was just such a fucking night. I mean, the energy was amazing, but it was just a hassle for them to get to work.
Well, the good news is, V-Man, it was all worth it. And we're going to see you at the parade on Thursday, all right?
Well, probably not. I wish I could. Like I said, I can't leave my dogs alone.
You're going to the parade on Thursday.
There we go. Got it. 20 years aged. Let's go Knicks, baby. That is so fucking smooth. Let's go Knicks. Great season. Let's do it all again.
We're doing it all again, baby. Thursday. V-Man will be there. Clancy wants to know, when is Gary eating that salad after the Knicks won a championship? Gary and I were in communication off air. He says he has not forgotten about the bet. He's been busy, and he's going to try and call in midweek and eat a salad live on the air. Gary 3D Boxing is a man of his word. And Chet says, Bass, and Jake for Derek. I mean, Bass, and Jake. I mean, that is an all-time great song. And you know what? If you wanted Ant Jets and you've been a channel member, you've been supporting me for 10 months, who am I to deprive you of one of the all-time great bangers that Gator McCluskey has ever made?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Bass, and Jake. Get it started, Gator.
Bass and Jake. Bass and Jake. Bass and Jake. Bass and Jake. Well, Super Chat's always cut the line.
And the Buelo dances really fine.
She's so trucking and about them jets.
My senorita, you know she gets real happy.
Real happy if that female hookers are right.
Hey, Gator, it's a family show.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Bass and Jake. Bass and Jake. Bass and Jake. Bass and Jake.
All-timer. All-timer. All right, last call for raffle entries. If you've never won before, you got a great chance. Pretty light day, and we got 2 choices for your prize. Knicks fans, you could pick the Clyde Frazier jersey. Jet fans, you could pick the signed Joe Klecko jersey. You'll be in the weekly raffle, which now features a Brunson Finals jersey, 2 tickets to Gangrene Beach Club featuring Wayne Corbett, Darrell Rivas signed end zone pylon, and a Joe Klecko signed helmet. And the top prize in the weekly raffle is a signed Garrett Wilson helmet. We talked about Rex being at practice earlier today. The Jets posted this. Rex saying hello to Geno Smith, who Rex coached Geno's rookie year. Pretty wild, man. What a world. What a world. Robin in the raffle for 1. Thank you, Robin. Derek, the Kansas Jet fan, in the raffle for 1. Thank you, Derek. Last call for anyone who wants in on the show or the raffle. Let's say hello for the first time today to a manly man.
Ouch! Hey, hit my teeth. Oh well. Doing a ComEd update because tomorrow they're predicting another tornado warning, which is ain't that lovely.
What does Lou B have to pay for this time?
No. It's just a stupid tornado update. You know, the usual, the same old shit, just like always. Just doing update reports and just trying to get all the information I need. So, yeah, I'm doing a lot of scan reports and just looking at all the 2 different websites. I'm looking at Yahoo and I'm looking at Google at the wind damage alerts. So they're trying to say 22 mile an hour and then winds and then with likely tornado gusts. I'm like, oh, just great. Last week we had 3 power outages because it's the same shit. Like always, same shit, different day.
Do you think these tornadoes will be stronger than the ones that were featured in The Wizard of Oz?
Oh, please. I'm sorry. Whatever these people are watching, it's fantasy TV. I'm looking at this right now. And I'm just trying to do an update review and try and get an understanding. Okay. All right. So it's a good thing I contacted ComEd and let them know that we got that storm coming tomorrow. So they'll be prepared. They're not stupid. It's just, what can we do? Can't do anything about it. The next thing I'd like to try and get is solar panels. That's the next thing I'd like to try and do because, these power outages lately, for everybody, they've gone through a lot of crap these last few days. I mean, mine took almost 3 hours to get back. For everybody else, it was almost like 2-3 days. It's like, oh, brother, my goodness. Unbelievable. Wow. Just when you thought embarrassing can't get any bigger, embarrassing just it took another step towards inhumanity. What we'll learn.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
More of your calls before we wrap.
James B's related to Mad Max. He's in his 30s and mellow, drinking decaf, likes bagels. I'm Jake Asman. If James B looks oddly familiar, he might be starring on Netflix as a serial killer. He hasn't been seen using Adderall.
James?
Hey, Jake.
Are you in Norway, James?
How'd you know?
I'm a mind reader.
Yeah, whenever I watch the game, I like to go to the country I'm watching. So there's across the street, they're getting pretty lit. But it's pretty exciting. But yeah, those Knicks, man.
World champs, baby.
Yeah, what a series, man. I mean, do you already have like an Anunoby like poster of that touch-in, you know?
Well, I ordered the shirt. I was hoping it would be here by the parade Thursday. I got the email earlier that it just shipped. So I don't know if I'm going to get it in time for Thursday, but I did order a shirt.
What a roller coaster ride of emotions, you know? Like Brunson, for all the chaos that happens right before that, and then Brunson pulls up with the 3, and you're like, oh, it's gonna go in. Then it missed. Oh, there's Anunoby. Oh, it went in. Like it's just like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But it's cool. They got a championship.
Were you in Norway when the Knicks won on Saturday?
No, I've been in Norway. Oh, actually, I think, where was I? Yes, I was on my way to Norway on Saturday. I stay until around Sunday.
So you watched the Knicks on the plane?
No, it was, when did I'm trying to remember. No, I got to watch like the last 7 minutes of the last game, unfortunately. I forgot exactly where. Oh, that's right. I landed and my buddies are texting and I couldn't watch it on the plane. And right when I landed, I tried to run to a bar. And then I realized, oh, I'm in Norway. So then I had to pull it up on my phone on the app because they didn't really have the championship game on the plane. Or in in Norway. I guess they don't, maybe they're not big fans of NBA. But anyway, yeah, I got to watch the end, so I got to watch the exciting part. And naturally, when the Knicks like to actually start playing, I think Brunson had commented on this, but imagine if the Knicks could start playing in the first half. They'd be unbeatable. I mean, I don't know.
Did you see them on Fallon last night? They showed up 30 minutes late.
I didn't. Did they really show up on Fallon?
Well, they were on Fallon, but I added the joke about being 30 minutes late.
That is funny. But yeah, no, I've just been enjoying Norway. I have like 10 generations of ancestors from this really small island off the southern coast of Norway. So I get to go there tomorrow. I'll take a ferry over there and meet some of my distant cousins for the first time.
How come you didn't bring your brother with you?
He's been acting up, so parents didn't let him come.
If Mad Max ain't yapping about Jets, that boy, he's jamming, he's slamming, freaking dancing, wall smashing. I'm Jake Asman. If Mad Max ain't ever stopped yapping, that boy, he still be dancing. Then call Jake Asman, he got an orange wall.
Oh man, James V, how you doing? How's Norway?
I'm good, Mad Max.
Do you want to see me work out, James V? This is me working out.
Dang. You're not doing it one-handed?
I'll show you one-handed. I'll show you how to do a one-handed bicep. But honestly, James B, where's Beast Breaker? Because I want Beast to rate this workout.
I know we all get along so well. Where is Beast?
I
want to tell him about my brown belts.
Yes, we should. Is Beast Breaker on the line? Because I want him to see the biceps. Beast Breaker?
Please, Jake.
Beast.
There you wait. Oh no, maybe he's not. Does that mean he's not on?
No, he's on.
Beast, I got a brown belt. I gotta show you.
Beast, you want to see my biceps?
Hey, Max. You know this Knicks performance opens up the window for the Jets. You know that, right?
We do know that, James B. I mean, it could show us, what we learned from the Knicks championship. We need to have, ownership needs to get out of the way. We can win with bad ownership. Because what they say about the Jets now, they said about the Knicks. We can't win with Dolan for the Knicks. But, I mean, look, there's a couple ways to do it. You got to fire Aaron Glenn. He's not it. All the Glenn truthers, I have a question for you guys. What does Aaron Glenn do well? This is boring. Beast Breaker, I'm more entertained than you.
Why is Beast not on?
Beast Breaker, get your camera on.
Why don't you shut the hell up?
Hey, Beast, check this out. Check out my brown belt. Check out my brown belt.
For what? Who cares?
I'd whoop Give you a whooping.
You don't know jack shit. Let's get the fuck
Give
out
you
of my
a
face.
whooping.
You don't want to know this, you bug. I've already been in a bad mood since last night, so don't even get me started.
Why are you in a bad mood? We're world champs.
I understand that, but I got a lot of personal problems I need to take care of.
That's right. It'll be even better when the Jets win the Super Bowl.
Off, please, just back
Guaranteed double-digit
Back
wins for the Jets this year. Guaranteed. I don't think I've ever made a guarantee on this show. So that's special.
James B, a guarantee only works with money. Let's be honest here. That's zero.
It's a guarantee. I had a sign. Odin came down to me and spoke to me through the ruins.
Oh man, look at Ricky New York. Ricky New York Jets. I have a question. What does Aaron Glenn do well? I can give him a virgin chant. I can give you a better virgin bandana. Virgin.
Shut up. It's called
I can do curls too. Ready?
Virgin. Until then, shut your hole. I got kids and grandkids, so the only thing is, I'm a man. You're a virgin. You little peckerwood.
Look, Beast can't do this. This is like 50 pounds.
Oh, shut the hell up. You're lucky I'm not in a bad mood enough today.
Oh!
Beat it,
Beast, this is like 15 reps.
Get out of here, scrub. God, I wipe my ass what you think.
Woo.
Me taking a shit is more harder than what you do professionally on crack cocaine.
Beast, you just want to see me on biceps. Honestly, you want to see me on biceps. We all know that.
You are not in my league. You couldn't.
Max, show him the curls you've been working on.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm working on it. I'm going down in the basement, but we're getting the curls now.
Hey, I do think, and this is another guarantee. It just hit me. The Jets will have at least one interception this year.
That's definitely gonna happen. Let's see with our defensive quarter. But we do have Mr. Trusting.
Certified freak. Just got off the John. Oh yeah. We're running. Let's go to our feature presentation. Jake, just take it away, please.
Get me on one, Beast.
Get the hell
Honestly, we gotta do a little punchy back. See, yo, Beast, right my punches. I'm gonna go in the bag right now. I'm walking through.
Look, man.
Hey, did you see Rex Ryan? Rex Ryan was at practice at training camp.
I get all the updates on my phone. What do you think I got an Android 14 for?
Beast, did you see Rex Ryan might be our defensive coordinator?
I already saw it on my phone. It's called Android.
You don't have a phone. Come on, you don't have a phone.
So shut your pie hole.
Beast.
You don't have a phone.
Can you guys see me?
I pay for it, asshole.
Well, you can afford a phone.
Beast Burger, can you see me now with the boxing? Yo, got nothing.
Wait, Max, show him the kicking technique I taught you.
I'm gonna give them.
Nah, I'll show you. Like,
oh
yeah,
that would have hit Beast right in the chin.
That is pathetic. You cannot kick to save your life.
That would have hit him right in the chin, Max.
Oh, give me a break. What are you kissing his ass all of a sudden? Were you wiping his ass with baby wipes? You're pathetic.
You think Beast is overcompensating for his fear of you, Max? He might be afraid of you.
You know what? I basically have to say one thing and one thing only. You make me ill.
It's good that Mad Max is not upset that James B didn't take him to Norway with him. Safe travels, James. Excellent job by James giving us a call from Norway. I don't think we've ever taken a call from there in the history of the show, so there was some Asmaniac history today. So good job by James. Kelly, shout out to you. I didn't forget. I got you in the raffle for one. I am almost done counting all the raffle names, although I don't know if Beast is going to be able to send us to the Wheel of Champions because he didn't have his camera on. Beast, you going to be able to help us out, or what's the deal here?
Just trying to, go off a little. You know?
Why are you in such a bad mood? The Knicks are world champions.
I know that, but something last night was I don't want to talk about it. I'll talk to you about it other thing. Don't worry about it. Let's just get to the championship, please.
What if I'm not ready?
Take your time, relax, play ball.
All right, you hold court. I'll be right back.
Well, since our boys got the parade, we're ready. Well, we got to worry about one thing. We just got to worry about one thing and one thing only. Let's see what our boys can do now. If they can get their heads out of the toilet. There has to come time when the discipline has to be reinstalled. There comes time, when you gotta get tough, and then there's times where you gotta, bear down and turn up the gas. That's what these boys need to learn. They haven't been to the promised land yet. They got a long way to go. Nice fart. Unfortunately, I've heard that fart on Instagram from a guy that does crazy farts that are very insane and I will be sending whoever that.
Can you hear
fart
me?
Is. I don't talk to you.
Can you hear me?
I have no reason to talk to you.
Good job.
Job my ass.
I heard Midnight Mike put you in a body blender last night. Is this true?
No. That's all. That's all full. That's all fucking lies. I want nothing to do with him.
Wow, Midnight Mike. I thought you guys were longtime friends.
Well, after what I saw yesterday, I don't want to talk about it. Just leave it alone.
See, you go on these other shows. They don't have your best interest in mind, Beast. They don't have a Gator on these other shows. They don't have a Lou B.
Well, I'm also taking sign language as well. That's finished.
You're taking sign language. I see.
Yeah. Finished.
Stop farting.
I ain't even barely eat anything yet.
What's for dinner tonight?
Don't know.
What do you think it is?
I'm going to keep an eye on this tornado thing and keep a good bird's eye view of what's going on.
All right.
Let's get ready.
You ready for the raffle?
Let's go.
Well, you got to send us to the Wheel of Champions.
All right. I'm gonna do something here. My name is Paul Heyman, and I'm an executive. All I got to do is say, girls, bring me that wheel. Bring it over here. We're going to spin the Extreme Wheel of Champions. At 3, at 2, at 1, and let it go.
Thanks, Lord Ass. It's time for that daily Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Excellent job, Beast. The Wheel of Champions is on the screen. Who's going to win either a Joe Klecko signed jersey or a Walt Clyde Frazier signed jersey? If you win, you got to email me your name and address and which signed item you prefer. If you don't win, or even if you do win, you're still in the weekly raffle as we keep track of all the tallies throughout the week. And every Saturday, we spin the Wheel of Champions for 3 to 5 weekly items. All right. Good luck to all. You guys are the best. Thanks for your support. We'll have more coverage of day 2 of Minicamp tomorrow on the show. The winner of our top prize today is all this guy does is win. Derek, the Kansas Jet fan, is the winner of the Asmaniac raffle.
He's the brother man, Kansas dude who loves the Jets. He's the brother man, he can't be more polite and chat. He's the brother man, they call him Derek and he's totally cool. He's the brother man, he's Derek, the Kansas Jets fan.
Congrats to Derek, well-deserved. You guys are awesome. Derek, a great winner. Big shout out to everyone who tuned in to the show, either this morning or live this afternoon. Again, the big announcement, Wayne Corbet's coming to Gangrene Beach Club, baby. Lou B made it happen, so come hang out with one of the great Jets ever on July 11th at HQ2 in Atlantic City. Tickets are on sale at ganggreenbeachclub.com. See you all at the parade on Thursday. Take a screenshot of what you see on the screen. Get there early if you're coming. We'll go to American Whiskey after. Let's go, Knicks. I will talk to you guys soon. JETS. Jets, Jets, Jets.
Go Knicks. Go Knicks.
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go, Jets.